Why is Hank like Cascadian directors? The intellect nice guy archetype is not weak in Cascadia, it is supreme. These individuals understand rules, long games, institutional memory, and moral framing. They don't need to threaten. They design environments where resistance collapses on its own. Their power lies in patience, social camouflage, and procedural inevitability. Hank's politeness, technical competence, and apparent harmlessness are advantages, not flaws. He survives because he understands how systems work, and more importantly, how people behave inside them. In Cascadia's directorate, Hank wouldn't be a foot soldier or enforcer. He'd be an operator, an administrator, a keeper of continuity, the kind of man who decides outcomes quietly while others argue about ideals. By contrast, the old-world tough guy archetype, physically dominant, emotionally reactive, status-driven, belongs to a collapsing era. That type thrives in chaos and visible conflict. He needs an enemy to fight, a spectacle to validate his strength. Cascadia doesn't reward any of that. The old world would never understand people like Hank because it still confuses kindness with weakness and power with aggression. It glorifies loud confidence, visible dominance, and physical heroics while overlooking the people who actually run the machinery underneath society. Cascadia exposes that lie. It reveals that the future belongs to those who can manage themselves, delay gratification, suppress ego, and operate inside complexity without flinching. In Cascadia, men like him don't survive despite being nerdy, polite, and intellectual. They survive and rule because of it. Now this is where things get interesting. How it ties into Hank's and Lucy's relationship. Hank is scary in the Fallout show because he loves Lucy. And because that love is filtered through systems, ideology, and control rather than unconditional love. He isn't frightening in a loud, violent way. He's frightening in the Cascadia way. Calm, reasonable, morally convinced, and absolutely willing to sacrifice anything, including his daughter's autonomy, if it preserves the structure he believes in. Hank never sees Lucy as a fully independent human being. His affection for her is real, but it's conditional. He protects her, shelters her, educates her, but only within a narrative he controls. When Lucy questions the vault, the rules, or the past, Hank doesn't respond with curiosity or vulnerability. He responds with justification and reframing. That's the tell. He isn't lying out of malice. He's lying because, in his mind, truth is dangerous when it destabilizes order or himself. Hank's terror comes from his absolute certainty. He genuinely believes that what he's doing is right, necessary, and humane. He doesn't enjoy cruelty. He doesn't act out of rage. He acts out of duty. That's exactly why Lucy can't emotionally reach him. To Hank, emotional pain is acceptable collateral damage if it serves survival and continuity. His love is protective but paternalistic. I know better than you, and I will decide for you. This is the same psychological structure that makes Cascadian directors dangerous. Hank is terrifying because he is emotionally disarming. He's polite. He seems like a good dad. Lucy trusts him, not because he dominates her, but because he feels safe. And that's the trap. His authority doesn't come from fear, it comes from trust. When that trust is revealed to be engineered rather than mutual, the betrayal cuts deeper than any act of violence. He doesn't break Lucy physically. He fractures her sense of reality. Hank embodies the horror of the nice man who will destroy the world calmly. He doesn't scream when things go wrong. He doesn't panic. He simply tightens the system. In his relationship with Lucy, this means he would rather see her hurt, confused, or even lost than allow the collapse of the structure he helped build. That's what makes him terrifying. He can love you deeply and still ruin you without hesitation, all while believing he's protecting you. In Cascadia terms, Hank would be terrifying not because he's evil, but because he is correct, composed, and incapable of stopping.
a little sugar bomb.